Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and my craft table. In today's video, I'm going to be making a clean and simple graduation card for the daughter of a friend of mine. I thought I'd go ahead and film the video for you since graduations actually take place many times throughout the year, not just in May and June. So let's go ahead and get into the project. I'm going to be using today this really fun stamp. It is just some graduation caps. It is a stencil. It's called Grad Caps. It is a CZ Design stencil from Simon Says Stamp. And then I have a Hats Off Grad die set to go with the Hats Off Grad stamp set. First, I would like to go ahead and get the stamping done because these need to have a minute or so to dry. Now this is a really fun stamp because all of these graduation caps, they're one big unit. Isn't that, when you stamp them, isn't that fun? I think that's fun. Okay, and you really could just stamp all of these onto the background. And then I think I will go ahead and do the diplomas as well. All right, I think that will be sufficient for now. All right, so I'm going to close my MISTI, pick that up, and put the paper back into the corner. And we make sure that magnet is going to stay out of the way. Then I'm just going to use my finger and rub on top of the stamps. This will remove the manufacturer coating. I'm going to use actually the Lawn Fundamentals Premium Ink Pad Jet Black. I just got this here recently and it is alcohol marker friendly. Okay, all right, we're going to close that up and then I'm just going to do some gentle even pressure, especially up here by that magnet. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stamp that again. I've tried to be a lot more mindful about my stamping, that it's really better to stamp more than one time and just do light coats rather than to push too hard and get a better crisp line. Okay, that spot right there. I'm going to press that down. Okay, I think I just need one more and I mostly need it down here in the larger area. Okay. All right, I think that looks great. All right, for the background, I'm going to bring in my large sticky mat. And I'm going to grab a white panel. So this is an A2 card. And I think that I'm going to just place this down. And we're going to grab our stencil. This is a 6x6. And this panel is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm just going to set this, okay, and then I can press down, and this will hold my stencil in place and my paper. All right, next I'm going to bring in some of my orange inks, and I did test them out earlier. The first thing I'm going to start with is Creamsicle, and I'm just going to do a light blend over this panel. So now I'm going to see if this is the right shade of orange or if I want to do a different shade. Okay, that is actually pretty good. However, I really want the background to be a lot more subtle than this. There's nothing wrong with this. I'm just going for a more subtle look. So I'm going to set that one aside. And I'm going to grab another white panel. And this time, I'm going to go with creamsicle. That is extremely light, and I think that will work. And then we're going to put this right back up here. Go ahead and give this a good dusting. Not that I have a lot on there, but just so I can make sure I get a light coat. All right. And creamsicle is very, very light, which is what I'm going for actually. Okay, so now we can take a peek in the corner here. Oh yes, that is so much better. Let me move the stencil away so you can see, and I'll show you the difference between the two panels. Okay, so this is my first panel right here. Not bad, really nice. This is my second panel. This is more what I was thinking. So I'm glad that worked out really well. All right, I'm gonna hold on to these inks here because we'll need those for some accent colors here in just a bit. Okay, so now I have this panel here, and I thought it would be good to go ahead and color some of the elements on this panel. I want to do like a dark charcoal gray. I don't want to go completely like super black. And then I have the orange highlights for the diplomas. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just a little bit for you. And then in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and get these. We're going to get these colored out, and then we'll move on to putting them together. And I'm just using my Altenew artist marker. These are alcohol markers. And so I'm just going to use a few of them that I have. And here we go. All right, so next I want to bring in a little bit of old paper, and I'm just going to get some small little blending brushes. Okay, so we're going to do old paper, which is pretty light, but it will give these diplomas just the amount of distinction that they need versus just being stark white. All right, I like that. Okay, and then I want to check out this ivory. This is one of the new Concord and Ninth neutral colors. I just want to see. Oh yeah, I think that'll be great. I'm just going to kind of dab that into these hands. Okay, and then this last one is it's called Latte. It's by Simon Says Stamp, and I'm just coming in and making sure these hands aren't so super pasty. I'll be honest, I have not ever ink blended hands before, so I don't even know if I'm doing a great job, but I'm gonna give it a go. All right, I think that looks great. And next, the other thing I'm going to do is, while I was coloring, naturally I just kind of got outside with the lines. So we are going to kind of clean up a few spots. I'm just going to use my little gel pen, And I'm going to do this before I die cut. It's just a little tiny spot here and there. And when I go to die cut all of these, everything will look really good and crisp. All right, got all those cleaned up. And then I think I'm going to add a little bit of little detail lines here and there. Don't know that it needs a whole lot, just a little bit. And I'm not worried about light, shadows, all of that. I'm just putting some gel pen accents down. I find it kind of just elevates the image. All right, now I'm going to bring in my little scout, and we're going to get all of these pieces cut out with our die cut machine. Okay, and I think it'll be easiest to kind of trim this down. All right, and yes, I do have the magnetic mat from scrapbook.com, and I actually really like it, but I want to make sure that those hands don't inadvertently move. I don't want to bump them, and I am notorious for bumping those. Okay, let's go ahead and run these through. And we'll see how these turned out. I think they've turned out super cute. Okay, these are turning out super cute, and you could absolutely die cut as many of these stamped images as you want, or you could just leave them, you know, you could just leave them flat. Oh, look at that. Okay, good deal. All right, these look amazing. Now, this one here, I just don't think I got the die right that needed to go with it. So I'm just gonna come right around here and kind of clean this up just a bit. I will have to think about this. Maybe this is an image that doesn't, it just gets stamped, and or maybe I put the wrong one, the wrong die on it. Okay, so it's okay. It's not the greatest, but it's not the worst either. Okay, but I think these look pretty good. Okay, so next I have kind of changed my mind about the sentiments. So what I want to do is bring this in. This is my panel, and I think I'm going to have congrats grad right like this. Okay, that looks great. I'm gonna leave that just like that. Pull this out. Okay, I like to do this black sparkle glitter. It's not glitter, it's like a, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a galaxy black. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, love it. It's my favorite. And I love to put it on my cards, especially when I need, you know, something nice, formal, pretty. All right, so I'm doing 5 3/8, 5 4 1/8. And then we'll have to cut this one down. Side to side, I'm going to take this down to 4. And then as far as top and bottom, we're going to take this down to 5 1/4. Make sure we like how that margin is. Next, I'm going to take an 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, and I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. And then we're going to build our card. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit of tape runner. And we're going to get this centered on this matting this matte grounding panel. Okay. That looks, see, that looks so good. I just love that. All right, next we're going to get all of these guys on here. Okay, and I think I'm not going to pop up the hands, but I am going to pop up all of the other things. So we'll leave these down flat. All right, now I'm going to get some of my foam dots and we're going to pop those all up. All right, and I'm going to put a foam dot on the back of each of these hats. And let's see about popping up these tails. So we'll need to cut some of these. And then as far as our diplomas go, we are going to use some strips of these foam dots here. All right, I guess I need to figure out where I want these. Okay, so we'll have these in a variety of places. And okay, there's our first one. So this is going to be the front, and we're going to put that on here. So let's go ahead and get that done. As far as the back, we're going to put a little sticker on there. We are going to get this down on the front of the card. Okay. And I have something right here on the edge of my card. Let's see if I can get that off. My little sand eraser. I got most of it, so I'm going to grab here just a little gel pen, and we're just going to cover that up. Then I want to add a little bit of shimmer on these diplomas. So I'm going to use my orange shimmer pen. And maybe we'll put some shimmer on the tassel. Who doesn't like shimmer? So that's great. Love it. And then we've got a couple more little things. We have some of these little bitty elements, like confetti. So I thought it would be fun to do a little bit of confetti in some places. definitely easier. I can actually fix this one over here. All right, I think that looks great. All right, and then finally, I want to, on the inside of the card, let's put the finally done. So I'm just going to use my acrylic block. And then I think I'm going to put this last little sentiment, and it says, "Good luck with your new adventure." Okay. And then lastly here at the bottom, I'm not even going to use the top of that part of that stamp. I'm gonna mask that off right there. We'll just put some more of those little hats down at the very bottom. All right, perfect. All right, well, here is our finished card, and it took me a little longer than I planned, but that's because I'm a slow crafter and sometimes I change my mind, but I love how this came out. And I really like the background. The background is so subtle. It looks so good. And then we have our inside. Okay, finally done. Good luck on your new adventure, and some hats. So this is done. I'm so excited. All right, well, thanks for spending your time with me today. Hope you enjoyed the video. I will have all of the information of products and materials that I used down in the description below. Don't forget to give the video a like, and until I see you in the next card or craft, as always, have an amazing day and happy crafting. Hello, crafty friends. Thanks for making it to the end with me. I'm so glad you were here to share in the crafty fun. Here are a couple more videos that I think you might find inspiring. And don't forget to like, comment below, and subscribe. So until I see you in the next video, have a great day, and as always, happy crafting.